in 10 games now for Frank Lampard. You heard the boos at the end. Let's see what the Everton manager thought about it all.
Frank, that was pretty grim tonight. How do you explain it?
Yeah, very disappointing. Even first half, I would say. Mistake from us for their goal, but I think in general play was pretty even. We had our chances, and but then 3 goals in 6 minutes. Defensive mistakes from us, and that obviously finishes the game.
Is that what depressed you the most, the way you sort of folded in that second half?
Well, the 6 minutes, yeah, because after that the game becomes a bit in between. You know, we get our late goal. It was like 4-0, the game's done. So those 6 minutes were completely pivotal to the game with individual mistakes and collective defending issues.
How do you explain that?
Individual mistakes and collective defending, I mean, that's what it is.
The first half wasn't great though, was it? I mean, you were 1 down, they hit the post, they looked the better side.
Yeah, I think possession-wise even. I think they hit the post and scored from a mistake. We had a good chance early with Alex, some opportunities around the box. I felt the first half was pretty even. I think I wanted more urgency. I thought we could lift our game, but I didn't think there was a lot in it in the first half.
Were you angry with them at the full-time whistle?
No, listen, we're all in it together, so it's not a question of anger. We're disappointed. We want to win games.
You've always been very bullish that you can turn things round here. Has this sort of knocked your confidence a bit?
Listen, you have to get used in our position. You're not going to win every week. You're not going to win games. So we have to remain and get back to the work. Simple as that.
The players look under pressure. There was chance of sack the board as well. Do you feel under pressure at the moment?
I'm a Premier League football manager. There's pressure in the job wherever you are. There's always expectation, parameters, things that you want to get to. So there's a constant pressure.
Do you feel this squad is good enough to turn things around, or do you need reinforcements?
We're trying to help the squad. I've said that in the last. We know that January coming. We want to help the squad, so we'll look at that.
And how do you lift them? A big FA Cup game at the weekend against Manchester United.
It's FA Cup, Manchester United. We have to lift and go there and perform.
Nathan Patterson came off injured. We saw him limp away. How is he?
Knee injury. Could be weeks. Medial ligament. So we'll have to get it scanned. But yeah, it looks like a medial, which is not ideal, obviously. But we'll have to get on with that. We have cover in that area, but it's a shame.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Cheers.
He looks very low, Alan. 7 defeats in 10 games. Where do you think it leaves his position?
It's going to be tough. It's a tough football club. Whoever goes in there. I mean, Frank's the 8th manager in 9 years, permanent manager, as well as a couple of caretaker stints. So that tells you it's a mess of a football club from top to bottom. The other people in that football club need to take responsibility. Spent about 90, recouped about 60 odd. They got Richarlison money in, didn't they? So the fans want to play a certain way. They're not happy with sitting back and defending and trying to hit teams on the break. They've had the injury with Calvert-Lewin. It's a tough way back for Frank. It's a tough way for anyone going into that football club, because it is what it is. It's been a mess, and it will be until something changes.
So changing the manager hasn't worked constantly for Everton. So should they back Frank Lampard now in January and try and stay with him?
Like he said, as being a Premier League manager, it's very tough. And the way they've been sacking the managers, would you say is the eighth
permanent in 9 years?
You're feeling like, well, it's coming from the same place. What they're going to do? What more can they do?
What I would say,
it's the same people upstairs.
Can 8 managers in 9 years? Can all of them be wrong? 3 or 4 might be, but 8.
Well, that's
structure.
That's a really good point, because Marco Silva's doing so well at Fulham now, having been at Everton. Ronald Koeman went on to manage Barcelona and Holland.
Yeah, and I get that in previous years they've spent an absolute fortune and wasted an absolute fortune.
They spent over £500 million since Farhad Moshiri bought the club, which is more than Liverpool in that time.
But who has been buying those players? That would be the question I would ask. And now it looks as if there's not a lot available in terms of finance, for whatever reason. But who spent that money? Who thinks it was a good idea to go and splash the cash on some bang average players for ridiculous amounts of money? I mean, if you want to use an example of a football club, how not to use Everton as an example, is that you're chasing the dream. All of a sudden you've got all this money, and then you see the players that it's been wasted on over the years, and that's, I don't think that's too harsh a word, wasted. There's been an unbelievable amount of money wasted on some players at Everton Football Club over the years. Now they're paying the price for that. Now it looks as if there's hardly anything available.
And just to add another manager to my argument, Carlo Ancelotti, who's gone on and won the Champions League and La Liga, couldn't even get them in the top 8.
Well, the thing is again, they were eat. Once Real Madrid came along, obviously
But what I'm saying is the manager of that calibre.
Yeah, but the manager of that calibre is the kind of guy that you're thinking that Everton, with the money that they had, would be able to bring a manager in like that to try and...
So does that tell you everything about the situation of the football club then?
Well, it does, yeah, because I think that it was built on sand, you know what I mean? They've got all the money, but they haven't got no foundation to what they're trying to build. You know, the academy, what's going on, what's happening with the stadium. You don't know what's going on with everything what's going on. I've not heard anything from Mashiri for a long time now. We don't know what's going on there. Everything seems up in the air. And then Frank's trying to get the team going. He's trying to get them together. Confidence is low. You know what I mean? You see Brighton, they pull them apart. You know, it just seems like it's going nowhere very fast.
It's very fragile football.
Yeah,
club.
massively.
It feels from the outside everything's fragile.
The other side of the story, though, is 4 wins in 7 for Brighton and their coach, Roberto De Zerbi.
Roberto, to win away from home in the Premier League is impressive, but to score 4 goals in the process, how do you reflect on that result tonight?
Since really I didn't like the first half, but the game was difficult, no? Because Everton is always a good team, and winning Premier League is always difficult. But in the second half we played better, we played well, and the problem, the goal we had conceded, but 4-1 is a very important result.
3 away wins in the top flight in a row for the first time for Brighton. They're into the top 8. Just a word on the job he's doing, having succeeded Graham Potter.
Yeah, he's doing a fantastic job. Let's use both clubs as an example of how well run one is and the other one. When they lose Potter, which could have been a huge blow to any other football club, the way they then go and recruit that manager, and it's no huge deal. They get the best deal for that football club. There's no mourning. They move on and they get someone else to come in to replace them.
They had a plan, didn't they, for losing?
Yeah, had plans, and they've felt the benefit for that. Nothing's an issue. Nothing's panic. It's a really well-run, well-organised, classy football club.
But when you've got structure in the club, then you can bring a manager in who's a good coach. Like Potter's been a good manager there for so long. Then you can bring someone like De Zerbi in with the quality players he's got, with the structure he's got, and the unbelievable recruitment that Brighton have had. You know, and then you could come in and then you could do your job, your coaching job. You know, you look at someone like Frank's got to come in there and he's got to probably deal with so many other different things, so many different aspects of the club which he shouldn't have to worry about. And like, you know, it's taken away from the actual football pitch. But Brighton are an unbelievably well-run football club.
Yep.